Hello everyone, test driven development. As we can see, our today's topic is TDD. So, this is Gaurav Arora, and you can visit my .NET Spider profile. I am a technology enthusiast, trainer, inventor, and a simply coder. Our aim of today's session is to understand test driven development concept with two major questions: what is TDD and why it is required. So, what is TDD? TDD, or test driven development, is an evolutionary approach. Yes, this is an evolutionary approach. This is a way for a developer to think through actual requirement or design before to write actual functional code. In other aspect, we can say that TDD is a technique to write a clean code as per actual requirement and design. The three stages of TDD are red, green, refactoring. So red stays while our test got failed, green stays while our test got passed, and finally refactoring stage when we are doing some cleanliness of our code, we are refactoring our code. So mainly I call all these stages as a step of TDD. Why TDD? We discussed earlier that TDD, or test driven development, is a technique which gives a way to write a clean code. So we can say that TDD is an important to cut off extra development effort and cost due to bugs like overflow, not as per requirement, redundant code, or duplicate code. In other words, we can say test driven development provides us a facility to test our code within a code. Yes, we write a code to test our code. As a developer, why should I use TDD? Even why should I take care of test driven development? So, as we have already discussed, TDD is a concept. If you are going to make it as in your practice, you will get benefits from this. Do not think like it will add extra efforts in related to works or related to cost to your work or to your particular task, but it is helpful in your code by delivering a quality of code with actual development of functionality or actual implementation of your exact functionality. So I can, or we can say that TDD is might help a developer to better understanding of what developer is going to write. Like in each and every stage of TDD, we have to confirm whether our test is passing or not, and we, after getting a green stage, we are going to refactor our code as per our exact implementation. Practicing test driven development. Before going ahead, let's visit what we discussed till now. So we discussed test driven development is not a unit testing. Yes, do not compare test driven development with your unit testing. Test driven development is writing and testing a code at the same time. With the help of TDD, we make sure that code tested and refactored well. In my personal opinion, TDD-Katas are the best to start practicing TDD. So in this we will take a look on TDD-Katas, not in depth. So let's start practicing TDD. First of all, let's create a simple TDD kata. Let's give it a name. I called it as a string sum kata. So for this, just create few of requirement. We are going to add two numbers. So our numbers should be a string number. So our numbers should be a natural number. I am not going to teach what are natural number, but the natural number should be positive or greater than 0. Oh, so let's just add one more typical scenario. We should replace a number with 0 if our entered string number is not a natural number, or like if someone entered, let's say -1, -1, or alphabets like ABC, a string, etc. Then we have to replace that string number with our 0. Let's divide our requirement into steps for TDD-Katas. So we will start with the simplest test case with an empty string, which will just accept an empty string and we will check what happened. Then create a simple method string like a string sum, which will accept two parameter of string types, and then we will write a test to pass small numbers and then refactors. If test got passed, then afterward we will try to write more code and refactors them. To make it easy practicing our TDD, I have created a lot of NuGet packages. Let's check one of my NuGet package related to TDD Kata. Let's go to NuGet package. So today we will use TDD Kata version 1.11.0. If you install this TDD Kata NuGet package, you do not need to install any framework like NUnit, MS Test, or any. So let's first create a simple console app and start practicing TDD Katas. Let's run a Visual Studio. So I have created a simple console app, Hello World. Now let's a NuGet package. Go to manage NuGet package and search for TDD Katas. You will get a TDD-Katas as a first result. Now go and install, and you will see that it will install NUnit Rex main, and you have to accept the license for Rex interfaces from Microsoft. Just click on I accept and it will install all the dependency required for our TDD practicing. Now check in installed packages. You will see that we have installed in installed packages. We can see it our NuGet package installed. NUnit test adapter, NUnit reactive extension, core library required for few of our TDD katas, and our TDD kata NuGet package. It contains 3 dependencies and we are all set. As soon as you install this NuGet package, you will get a readme.txt which explains you each and every TDD kata it contains with every bit of steps. You can go and walk through each and every kata, or you can create your own TDD kata. Now let's go back to our TDD Kata requirements. We have to implement our TDD Kata. So our kata name is string sum kata. Let's create a folder with the string sum kata. So let's add two classes, one for test and another for our main class by pressing Shift Alt C. Let's name it string sum, and another class would be test string sum. To start writing test, first make it our class as a public class, test class. So we need a unit test framework to start writing our tests. just press Control dot, it will give you a name of our namespace. Let's add an unit.framework. Now let's go back to check our first steps. We have to add a simplest test case with an empty string. So we have added a simple test, named it as can sum two string numbers. So as of now we do not have implement our actual functions. Let's take a look into another step. We have to create a simple method which called a string sum, which contain a two parameter of string types. Let's do that. Move to our actual class. So here is our method which returns a string type result accepting two parameter of string type. Let's make it very simple. Just parse our string we are expecting it. These are string numbers only. So let's parse these number 1 and number 2 and add them and return them just as a string. Just put a bracket and just try to build it. So our build got 6. Now go back to our test class and try to add a simple empty string and let's see what happens. So we added a number 1 as empty string, number 2 as 1, and our expected result will be 1 because as per our actual requirement we will replace 0 if the entered number is not a natural string number. Let's call it as result and making a call to our actual method, and it will give us a result, a sum of our two string number num1 and num2. Let's verify the out. So our actual result should be equal to our expected result. Now we are ready to test our Now we are ready to run our test. We have already added an unit test adapter. Now go and right click and click on run test. You will get the output in the test explorer. So our test got failed. So we are at red stage. If you see the stack trace, you can notice that our empty string is unable to parse in int. So let's go back to our actual class and handle this scenario. So here we know our empty string is not getting parsed into integer type. So there is another method which is a try parse. Let's use that. Let's create another variable which contains actual number. Now use a try parse. Try parse will return a bool either true or false. It will let us know whether our number is valid for parsing or not. It contains a number which need to parse and a variable without parameter which holds the parsing value. Let's do the same thing with number 2 and we just need to pass our natural number 1 and natural number 2 for our sum things. Now here we are ready to run the test again. Move to our test string sum class and use test adapter. Run the test, check the results. Yeah, we got passed. Now we are at green stage. Now our final step will be refactoring of our actual function. If it is having some kind of room to refactor the code, let's move to our sum class and check the availability if we can refactor our sum method. Yes, I'm seeing there are a lot of availability to refactor this particular function. So we can see we have two operations which are doing the same thing. We can move it into another method from here. So select and press Ctrl RM to refactor this particular. So let's make a name for this method. I am saying it as natural number and just click OK. Let's beautify our method. I am saying it as num and we will pass it as num and I am going to say it as natural num and it should be a natural num only, not num1, and it will return num. Yes. So let's replace our entire second operation with calling of this method. I'm going to write here natural number passing a parameter num2 because here we need to pass a num2 and I'm just putting here natural number 2. I'm still seeing one more thing here. We can uh, do one more step refactor. Let's move this method and directly call within from this and just get rid of the other unused variables. So this is what we have refactored here. Now let's run our test once again because it might be our test will affect with this refactoring. Let's go back to our test string sum class and run our test using an unit test adapter. See the results. Yes, our test get passed. Now we have completed our step 1. So we can now add more test cases to our test. Let it be as and add few more test case. So I have added around 4 more tests which will accept num1 num2 as a string and expected result as a string. So we do not require these two parameter, as well we do not require expected result parameter. Now we just require to call this method. Let's make this as a actual result and make it as actual result and we will check this with our expected result. Now let's run these test cases using test adapter again. See the output of we got our build. Oops, I have to use test I spell, so let's make a test case as attribute. Let's first build our test. Yes, we got success build. Now let's run again our test. See the output. Our one test got failed, so we have to verify why. Let's check the stack trace of our failed test case. Uh, it is accepting a -1, which is not a natural number, and 1, and it is expecting a result as 1. But in our scenario, it is not returning a 1, it will return as 0. Why? The issue is with our actual implementation. We are parsing our string number using try parse, which will in case of our -1, it will return as parse number as -1. So ultimate, when we will add -1 plus 1, it will return as a 0. So we do not implement our actual requirement. So our actual requirements are saying replace a number with 0 if entered string number is not a natural number. So as per our actual requirement, our negative or -1 should be returned as 0. So let's fix that problem. So we know our natural number is going to a negative. So just check if this number is less than 0, we have to make it as a 0, otherwise it should be a number itself, and that's we done. Now go and run our test again. Run test, check in the test adapter. Yes, we got each and every test passed. So now let's move back to our original class and check if there is any room to refactoring. Uh, Here I am not seeing any room for refactoring. Our code looks good, better, clean code. So you can see how our code is looks like now. So with the adoption of TDD, during TDD practice, we noticed that we can clean our code earlier, which was having more than 5 lines. Now our same function is having only a single line of code. Isn't it good? In this example, I have only shown a simple scenario. If you would like to, you can add more TDD-Kata steps and more requirement to make or implement a complex type of problems. If you want to implement and push your changes to this repository, go and feel free to make a pull request to my GitHub repository TDD-Kata. Make your pull request, or you can create a new issue to merge your pull request with your new changes.